the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting today with best-selling author and Ramsey personality Ken Coleman. So we are taking your calls this hour at 888-825-5225. Give us a call. It's free anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. So Ken.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like things are fascinating right now in the world.
Oh, that's a very mild way of putting that.
Yes.
It's a very positive way of putting that. Yes. It's we have a lot of confusing economic data. We've got political stuff going on. It's a very interesting year, to say the least. I would say a watershed year. I believe that. I think when we look back, you could probably say that about the last 2 years, but I think this year, you know, with it being a political year where you're going to have midterm elections, which mean a lot, and then you look at how the economy's doing. You know, we're seeing high job opportunities. We're seeing increased pay's at an all-time high, but inflation is at an all-time high.
Okay.
And then you got the interest rates going up. But yet we're not in a full-blown recession. There's just a lot happening right now. In the next 6 to 12 months, I think, are going to be even more fascinating, to use your word.
Yes, for sure. So, I mean, obviously the Fed raised the rate recently. I mean, this whole thing, the inflation, everything, people are feeling.
Yeah.
And specifically on, you know, their budget side, the expenses, right?
sure.
You're still feeling gas, even though it's gotten a little bit better, but groceries are still at an all-time
Very high.
I mean, everything, food. And anytime I buy anything, whether we're like booking a hotel room or I mean, just everything.
Don't forget
just
utilities. We see electric.
So
electric is going up. A lot of economists are saying, and industry insiders are saying, that electric bills are going to go even higher. So now we're coming into, obviously, a season where you're going to have your heating bills go up. So it's not just food and some of your clothing and retail expenses. It's as those utilities are going up as well, to the point that for people who have gotten nice pay raises, the pay raises haven't outpaced inflation.
Okay, that's what I want to talk to you about, because
that's hard.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and people are feeling this. I mean,
very much.
And even us. I'm like, I was just doing our budget for October, and I was like, I'm having to kind of bump up because we just keep going on groceries, on this stuff.
Sure.
I'm like, we're just feeling it.
Yep.
So talk to me about wages, though, because I see statistics that wages are going up, but some people are saying, no, I'm not feeling that at all.
Right.
So what are you seeing?
Well, wages are definitely up. That's just, historically, we're seeing hourly wage earners are making way more money. People that have changed jobs in the Great Resignation, which, just a quick snapshot on that's about 60 million people have changed jobs since the middle of 2021.
That's
It's
crazy.
extraordinary.
Since 21, not even COVID.
That's correct.
Which was a whole other
That does not
thing.
even count COVID. So what we're seeing is, yes, incomes are going up, but if you don't have the discipline to use the Ramsey way, right, to budget and know where your money's going, well, you can get a nice bump. But number one, it feels good. That always feels good. You see a bigger paycheck. But if you're not in the details of a budget, you don't necessarily see immediately the cost of groceries. If you're not paying attention to your grocery
absolutely.
budget, and you're just going, I'm buying all the same items that I buy before, and then I look at it after I pay and I go, wait a second, the same exact thing that I paid for 6 months ago is now $100 to $200 more.
Yep.
Well, that starts to creep up. We did see gas prices go up. So to your point, money's not going as far as people think it's going.
Yeah.
And then they wake up and go, wait a second, something's not right. I got a 15% pay bump, but I'm still having problems with not meeting all my monthly needs. They're eating out, by the way. Let's not talk. I mean, let's just not just let this be focused on groceries. What about eating out?
Yeah.
The other day, and I'm infamous for not paying attention to the bill. Like, Stacey gives me a hard time about it. I just don't pay attention to the bill.
You just keep going.
I look at the total and I pay attention to the tip.
Yeah.
She's a line item looker.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I've already looked at it.
She reads right to left, if
100%.
you will, on a menu.
I go right to the bottom
Me
and I
too.
go, what do I owe my waiter?
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've already pre-selected mine.
What you want to eat.
Yeah, but then here's the deal. If you don't pay attention to that, it's like what used to be a little family outing
Oh, yeah.
of $50 is now $75.
Yes.
80.
Yes.
So all of these things is the real impact of inflation. We hear economists and newsmakers talk about, well, this category and this category and this category, but here it ends up going across the board. So bottom line is life is more expensive right now, and to where people are a little bit depressed. They changed for a job to get a better paycheck, and they're going, it didn't keep up with it. So what am I going to do? Ask for another raise? I can't ask for a raise, Ken. I've only been on the job 3 months. The answer is you give yourself a raise by using the financial principles we teach on this show.
Yeah. And being so diligent. And more than ever, it's this whole conversation too of needs versus wants. And what's hard is what is a want has become a need, right? Like, because you're just used to it. You're used to having X, Y, and Z, fill in the blank, whether it's a subscription or whatever it may be. And it's like, we can't live without that. Yeah. We can't live without Hulu. We can't live without Disney Plus. All these things.
What does Hulu cost? Do you even know? I don't even know. We have Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Probably like $10. Yeah. $9.99.
What is it?
I think it's like $6. There's all these different tiers now, but the one we did is $6.
But then here's the deal. So I'll call ourselves out. You look up one day and you go, oh, that's right. I forget. Stacey signed us up for Disney Plus. And we got Netflix and we got Amazon Prime because we buy everything from Amazon, sadly.
100%. So do we.
And then you go, oh, I got Apple Plus.
Yeah.
And then I see this really cool commercial for a show that I gotta see on Hulu.
And then on Showtime, and then
Paramount Plus because I gotta watch Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, you gotta have them all.
And to your point,
man, big tech, they know how to get us.
Now you got what, $100 in subscription services.
And you know what's the worst for me? Here's where I'm not diligent, and I really should just like figure this out. Apple takes my money. I have like a $2.99 here.
Oh boy.
A $4.99, and I'm like, I think I've bought the cloud. Somewhere the cloud, but yet I have Dropbox. Like I'm like, I have all this stuff that I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm duplicating probably the same thing.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, oh, it's just $4.99 here. And over time, you're like, oh my gosh.
Okay,
so
while we're confessing,
we need to be diligent.
Here's my confession. I'm the worst at this. My poor wife, y'all pray for her. I'll sign up for some sports app that I got, like I'm traveling and I can only watch the game on this one app or something like that.
Then it renews 12
months. And it's the automatic renewal because I say to myself, oh, it's free for 30 days. And I'll remember to tell Stacey.
I'll remember to cancel it.
Here's the deal. I never remember. And she's like, what is this charge?
I know.
CBS Sports Plus? What is that? Well, I had to listen to the Michigan game. Yeah, I'm the worst at that. At the old, they trick me because I always forget to unsubscribe or whatever.
You know what's sneaky to me is you buy something. This has happened to me twice, Ken, in the last 5 months. And I'm like, is this the new model? I bought a hair product thing, and a makeup thing. Separate companies. And they have shipped me the same product 4 months later and charged me again. I was like, whoa, I didn't sign up for a subscription. I didn't sign up for that.
Oh, but you did.
Sneaky had no idea. So watching your expenses, people, is going to help so much. And even the $15, $20 that's saved gives you margin. This is The Ramsey Show.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting today with Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls on life, money, career, relationships, anything and everything. We are here to have a conversation with you. So give us a call at 888-825-5225. All right, up next, we have Micah in Cincinnati. Hey, Micah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Ken. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Awesome. Well, so I have this really kind of random opportunity for a job, and it was one that HR basically said I didn't have an opportunity to have, so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and apply and get my name up there anyways, and just so they can kind of get a name to a face in case it opens up again. And the two people above me in seniority that applied did not get the job. So I got a phone call, and they said, okay, 3:30, come in, you've got an interview. So it's like, crap, what do I do? So just a quick background is the job I have now, I absolutely love it. And it's one of those where it's so easy that you just feel like you don't ever want to leave. But I also am kind of struggling with job satisfaction, I guess, because I'm an aircraft mechanic and I build jet engines. And basically this new job will offer me more opportunities to develop as a mechanic. And I'm only 27. So I would love to retire doing what I'm doing. It's just, I feel like 37 years to retirement doing the same thing over and over is probably not going to work out great. So I'm kind of puzzled because it was such a fast opportunity.
Yeah. And it's today, Micah, the interview?
Yeah, it's like literally in an hour.
So so why'd you call us? What's on your mind?
I guess I'm trying to outweigh, like, does the little raise and the opportunity to advance myself in my career, should that outweigh the security and the ease of the current job that I have? So it's basically yes.
Yes, for the reasons that you just gave to the audience. It was very eloquent, by the way. I mean, you just laid it out. Look, I got a really good job. I like it. I'm good at it, but I don't have any satisfaction. And what you didn't say is that you're bored. And I think that's what's really going on. And there's no way you can do this for 37 more years. Those were your words, not mine. And so, yes, you are in a comfort zone right now. But all growth happens outside of the comfort zone. And what will happen is if you were to not pursue this, whether you get it or not, but if you were not to pursue this or pursue something else and continue to climb the ladder, when we stay in this place of comfort, then we find that complacency and misery are not very far behind. Complacency leads to misery. And yet, as people, Rachel, we'd rather be miserable than uncomfortable because change is so scary. Change is it puts us in a place of being uncomfortable. So I would say, young man, yes, at least go listen. At least go listen. I mean, it doesn't hurt for you to show up. Mm-hmm. You were interested in it before enough to kick the tires.
That's the thing, like, I'm not sure why I even applied, but that's just from leaving my last job to coming here. I was like, oh, man, I did it. And then God just opened these doors. I wasn't supposed to get in this job in the first place, in this company in the first place, because I don't have the experience. And here it's like, it feels like a repeat that God's just opening these doors. And I'm like, crap. Yep. I mean,
maybe God's opening the doors because you're sharing with him your heart. Maybe he knows your heart. He knows you're bored. I don't believe you that you say you don't know why. I think you know why.
And it's just a gamble too, Micah, because I'm curious, the two people you said that were even above you didn't get it. So I'm curious, like, what the qualifications are, what they're looking for, what the credentials, all of that. So let's just say, Micah, you go and you don't get it. Yep. But this is still stretching you. Like, there's still that opportunity for growth. Even if there is a rejection on the other end.
That's a great point.
You're still doing something. You have movement. And what Ken was saying too, being stagnant for a while, I guess, can be comfortable in the crazy world where we live in. That you're just like, you know what? It's predictable. Yep. And we're here, and I know what I'm doing, but that only will take you so far, and the boredom will catch up, Micah. So I think it's a great question, and I appreciate you calling right before your interview. So
fun
stuff. Hope you kill it, and I hope you walk right through that door that's been open to you. And
awesome. The last thing I'd say on this is no pressure today. Ask every question you want to ask. Like, allow yourself to be so engaged in this interview that you allow your brain to get out of the way and your heart to talk. Your heart will tell you whether or not you want to do this. But it is always good to listen.
It's good. All right, up next we have Julie in Phoenix. Hey, Julie, welcome to the show. Julie?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
We're doing well.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah. Well, how can we help?
Thank you for taking my call.
For sure.
Basically, I'm not sure so much it's financial family. It got to the point that I literally had to stop speaking to my mother, and I'm guessing it has to do with finances, and I just wanted to get your advice. I got saved at the age of 21. I was in debt over $10,000. I put myself in bootstraps. I paid it off in 1 year.
Wow.
And after that, I just kind of stayed living in New York. My mother accumulated debt from about $10,000 to $12,000. They started suing her, dragging her to court. I felt I needed to do something because she was not doing anything, and she turned to me, and I paid about $4,000 to file for bankruptcy for her. And that was about 7-8 years. I'm 30 now, so that was 7-8 years ago. And I paid, and that was all of my money. And I made her promise that she will never get a credit card again. Because after I paid off all of my credit cards and debts, I cut everything. I've never used a credit card, any debt again, basically.
And you found that you can't change people.
Yes, and within a year or two, she had multiple credit cards again. She tried to kind of hide it from me, that they were coming in the mail.
Sure.
And within maybe 5 years, she was right back where she was, down to maybe $12,000, and they started to try to drag her to court again.
Yeah.
She turned to me basically like, are you going to take care of it? Like, I didn't know what to do. I called the attorney, her bankruptcy attorney, and she was like, what's wrong with your mother? You can't file bankruptcy every 4 to 3 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
You can only do it every 10 years. Long story short, I moved to another state to be in full-time ministry. Then COVID hit. She moved to that state with me. And then after some time, it's just she was making very not smart financial decisions. And it was just, I'm starting to feel the point I was getting suffocated. And when I was done with the ministry and I moved to another state, now I'm in Arizona, she always wants to move in with me. So basically, I can pay at least half of the bills.
Yeah. So Julie, we have a hard break coming up. Hey, Julie, we have a hard break coming up. What give me the situation today and how Ken and I can kind of walk you through and give you our thoughts.
She keeps asking me for money.
Okay.
Trying to move in with me.
Okay.
And I can't.
Yeah.
When I was 19, she was encouraging me to take out a student loan to pay to
Hey, Julie,
$30,000.
Listen, this is a hard no. You've got to put up some boundaries, Rachel. She's got to put some boundaries up with mom, and it's a tough situation because it's her mother.
Yeah, it is.
I tried for the last 2 years, and she would emotionally blackmail me. She would guilt trip me. It got to the point where she would call, and I would my blood pressure would go up.
Yeah,
I know. Sweet. Listen.
I had to stop speaking to her.
Julie, listen. Yeah. I understand this is so wildly painful and so hard. But the fact is you're already in pain. She's already putting you in this situation. And so it's not going to get any worse if you literally say no and you put the boundaries up. It's not going to get any worse than it already is. But by giving her continued power to manipulate you, and I'm being very specific with that word. Your mother is manipulating you, and you do love her, and it is because you love her that she has the power to manipulate you. But we can hear the pain in your voice. Rachel, it is. And Julie,
putting up those boundaries is really difficult, and I think being very clear with her and saying, Mom, I'm not giving you any more money. And if that is the string that keeps us together, then Julie, there's a point, and which is the most heartbreaking thing when a family is destroyed, but she's destroyed. I hear it in your voice, Julie, that you can't handle this anymore. And so there's going to be a really hard boundary that you say that we can't have a relationship if this is how you're going to treat me. And this is for the good of you, Julie, for the good of you in your life. And that's a hard boundary, but it's a loving one for you. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Well, it's no secret that we love talking about money. And we know not everyone feels that way, but that's one reason George Campbell and I started a new podcast that we wanted to bring the fun back to money. We wanted to make a casual, conversational podcast around things that are going on in the world today and in regards to money. So last week we launched a brand new Ramsey podcast called Smart Money Happy Hour, where again, George and I, we kind of dig into the stuff that your friends would talk about at a weekly happy hour, pop culture, what's going on in the world, how you can afford to live a life you love, and obviously some money stuff. So you're slipping the money stuff into normal conversations. Into the normal conversations. Yeah, we're just like, okay, so what's going on in the world? Give people an example. First episode's going bingo bongo. It's amazing. Congratulations. Thank you, Ken. But let's give them but first of all, wait a second. I have ADHD. I want to check this, James. Make sure this is. Yeah, no happy hour happening here. Okay, it's water. It's water. I can attest that is water, James. Right there. That is water. I didn't know. You do the Smart Money Happy Hour with George where you have an adult beverage. I was wondering if it was going to creep into the big show. And I can now tell everybody, rest assured, and there's water in here as well, folks. Oh, my gosh. All right. Oh, yeah. People want to know. They're curious. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. So give me an example of first episode, a pop culture thing, and then you kind of pivot into money. Yeah, so first, we talked about the things that are keeping you broke. And so we walked through the first episode about 9 different things, everything from Amazon Prime to the free shipping things we'll get you on websites. So we kind of walk you through all that. We talk about the second episode is about your house, HGTV, and how it ruins our generation. Oh, I know. Man, tough times. That almost got me in some trouble. I wanted to buy every fixer-upper I would drive by because I love Chip so much. Yeah, and you're like, I could Chip and Joanna. I could take a sledgehammer to that wall. Stacy's like, you can barely hold a hammer. You can barely do it. Slow your roll. So if you want to listen, you guys, make sure to subscribe to Smart Money Happy Hour, and it's living in the top 20 of all podcasts. It's been there for now like 5-6 days, which is awesome. So we have new episodes every Thursday that launch. The Royals might be one topic launching soon. Disney, the whole Disney conversation from Disney World, Disney Adults, all of that. Yeah, we just have some fun stuff, some reality TV episodes coming out. So anyways, we're really excited about it and we have a lot of fun. So we hope that this will be a great podcast that you guys will enjoy. And if you have a friend or a family member that maybe the Ramsey Show is a little too hardcore or something for them, this is a nice little it's a lighter fare. Yeah, a little lighter. Right. And I think you got to point out that you guys have one beverage, and do you review the beverage or we do? So So every episode we have a different drink. There may be a mocktail. We had a mocktail in one episode too. So we're mixing it up, and we'll give you the recipe at the end, and we'll rate it. See. But like any good happy hour, so you get some money wisdom, you get a little pop culture update, and you get a great recipe. A little something. Okay, speaking of pop culture. Oh boy. Instagram. Kenneth is my it's my social media of choice. So people will send me clips all the time, which I so appreciate, America. Thank you for doing it because it's fascinating money advice that's out there. So I saw this clip, Ken, and I would love to have a discussion. So let's play this Instagram reel.
In 16 years, your daughter will not be able to buy a house. It will not be affordable for her to buy a house unless you help her. I would argue that it is a better business decision. It is a better financial decision for you to buy a house for her. It's an investment property. It's a rental property. All of the money that comes from that goes into an account, and that is her college, number one. And number two, that house is being paid for by somebody else. So then when she is 22 years old, graduated from college, you can say, here, sweetheart, here is the home that you will never, ever have been able to afford if I had not bought it for you 16 years ago. And I'm telling you right now, that is the best financial decision. Rather than going to 529, whatever that thing is, college fund, that is complete and total bull. I agree with that. I'm telling you right now, going ahead and buying a house as an investment, that is the best thing that you can do for your children.
And I'm not selling anything I own because...
No, I wish I'd kept everything I ever bought.
Yeah. Wow. A lot there.
Fascinating.
Boy, she was a bit of a machine gun there.
She knew what she wanted to
All right, couple
get out
things.
to the world.
Myth number one, first thing she said that's incorrect, and it's just absolute emotional hyperbole, is that your daughter won't be able to buy a house. It won't be affordable.
Oh, she won't be able to on her own.
That's fear-mongering, and
Yes.
that's kind of playing into this whole, upper class versus lower class. That's a little bit of middle-class warfare because she's making a point. But that's exaggerated, and it's not true. Secondly, what she's prescribing there is most likely, I don't have any other context. Do you know this person?
Nope.
I don't have any other context, but she's probably saying take on debt. So let's say an American family's got a bunch of debt, and then they were to take what she were to say as gospel truth. Now they're going to go get a second mortgage, and under the guise of, well, this is really, really smart. So it's incomplete advice. So there's two things right out of the gate.
Okay, so number one, yes, I'm with you on the fear thing. I'm like, no, that's just not. I mean, I just am not.
Yeah,
I don't agree. Number two. Yes, getting on that second mortgage where I'm like, man, now if you were to pay cash for it, that's a different discussion. But people think in the real estate.
Most people wouldn't be able to.
And yeah, but people think with real estate, they're like, oh yeah, it's, you just buy it and someone else will pay the mortgage and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's a part-time job when you have other properties.
And risky.
And risky because what if you don't have anyone to fill it? And then who's going to pay the mortgage? So
third thing, the 529 is a wonderful investment vehicle. She makes it out like it's some sort of piece of crap, and they're both like, oh, yeah, no, 529, that's so stupid. Well, if it's not, that's not right. 529 is a wonderful investment vehicle, and it can be used multiple ways. So, again, the poo-pooing what's normal and the fear-mongering here, this is incomplete. However, all right, those are three things I didn't like.
Okay. Give me what you did like, Kenneth.
Here's the caveat, all right? The caveat is if you have no debt, all right? You have no debt the Ramsey way, and you can put a sizable down payment on a home, a future home, and in the context of what she's saying, for your child, versus fund their college, I don't think that's foolish. And I only say that to say you have to be financially responsible. Like, this is not stressing you out financially. You can put a huge down payment on it. So you're going, the amount of money I would put towards their college is more than a 20% down payment. And we have no other debt. Therefore, this is not stressing us out. In that situation, it is a very interesting idea because college has increasingly got more expensive and less relevant. And that is true.
Yes.
So you're giving your kids some options to where they could cash flow their way through college.
With the rent is what she's saying.
That's right. Well, or no, they work. And so you've now given them this long-term investment. You've gifted them this long-term investment. It's interesting. I'm not recommending it or endorsing it.
Right.
But I at least want to be an equal opportunity commenter.
To see both sides.
If you have the financial wherewithal and you're not going into any kind of risk and you're not assuming a very large amount of debt.
Right.
It's not a horrible idea, but the way they set it up is an incomplete narrative.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. That's fair. Because too, I'm like, when you transfer an asset like a house,
there's a lot of things. You were talking about this earlier.
To a child, I'm like, yeah, you got it. There's like there could be tax implications if you're not careful. All this and the rental income that you make is taxable.
Can't guarantee that.
Like it's just all of this, and I'm like, man, I don't know. It's just. I don't know why. I'm like, it feels like get an UPMA or something. Like start investing in.
This is the nature of social media. People like this can sway people with an incomplete narrative. And what you need to understand is that you're assuming risk and you can't guarantee that you're going to have renters all the time. There's a lot of things that are at play versus the 529 can be used in a variety of ways towards qualifying them. So if they don't go to traditional college, they could still use the 529 for a trade school, which now is like,
and can be passed to different children and all that. So but college is a fascinating topic right now because there's a part of me though that I still am like that transition from 18 to 21, still having a level of responsibility, still learning and growing like that. That is I
want to challenge you on
I know. But listen, like that still, there is pros to that.
There are.
But my question is, my is like, what is college going to look like in 15 years? And I am putting money in a 529.
Very different.
So what is it going to look like?
Well, I don't
That makes me a little nervous too.
Yeah, I get that. Hey, I got to tell you this. Yesterday, Entre Leadership Master Series happening downtown Nashville. I took a question from a business owner that operate big like backhoes and big giant tractors and things like that on construction sites. They're hiring kids straight out of high school to operate these big machines.
How much?
The kids are loving it. They're making as much as $55,000, $60,000.
That's pretty awesome.
Right out of high school. Good. Don't go anywhere. More of your calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show.
The Ramsey Show. We are taking your calls at 888-825-5225. Up next, we have Mark in Sacramento. Hey, Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi. I listen to you guys through YouTube highlights, and my best friend listens to you a lot. I have a question. My only debt that I have is my home. I owe $295,000. I have a good interest rate to me at 2.14%. I have a small investment account through Edward Jones of about $14,000, and then I have cash of about $100,000. And I want to do something with the $100,000 to invest it, but I'm very leery to listen to people on Instagram and follow them and do what they recommend. And I was hoping for some guidance.
That's some wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Don't take financial advice straight off of Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. So you have no other debts. You have a lot of cash. I mean, 6 figures of cash, which is awesome. Do you have anything in retirement? Do you have a Roth IRA open? Do you have a 401k at your work?
No, I don't. My investment account was intended to be as a retirement.
Okay.
My grandfather needed to pull some cash, and he got penalized, and that's always been a fear of mine, is not being able to have access to my monies. That's all.
Do you have the option for a 401k through or a Roth through your work?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
That's in the works. I work for the family business, and so
okay, gotcha.
Okay.
It's a matter of me setting that up.
Yeah, and still a Roth IRA could be an option. So, Mark, I would encourage you, though, to look into that. I understand being able to get to your money is important to you, and I get that. But also, you're going to miss out on a lot of growth and tax-free growth if these accounts are wrapped in a Roth. So if it's not just a traditional IRA, but it's a Roth, and if you get a Roth 401k as well. So there's just so much opportunity for growth there for retirement that I would recommend looking into that. So if I were you and I woke up in your shoes, I would take this $100,000 and I would put some of it still and just have in a money market account for an emergency fund, anywhere from 3 to 6 months of expenses there. I would open up a Roth IRA, and I know the 401k will be a little bit more complicated within the family business, but once you get that up and running, funding some money into that and even maxing that out for the year. And then taking the rest and saying, okay, what else do I want to do? Is there, do I want to purchase a home soon? Do I need to replace a car? Like, what else with this money? What else could you do? Or could you go and just invest it in just a standard mutual fund, just a growth stock mutual fund as well? So those are some options, but I would hate for you to miss out on putting your money in some type of retirement vehicle because of the growth, the tax-free growth that happens, that when you go to retire, that it's so nice to have. So nice to have.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you recommend a certain place that I start my research?
I would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro. They are investment professionals that we actually recommend, and they will sit down with you and teach you and give you options. These people eat and breathe this stuff. So if you hold on the line, Austin will pick up and he'll get you connected to one of our SmartVestor Pros and find where on RamseySolutions.com that you can find that and help you navigate that. So I would sit down, with an investment professional and look at that. But it's a great question, and I appreciate your diligence in the amount of saving and your intentionality with all of this. But I think that there is some stuff that you could do with that $100,000 that will really, really help you in the future.
Yeah, and Mark, I would just echo what Rachel says, but when you sit with, and I want you to interview at least 2 or 3 of our SmartVestor pros. We recommend that because we want to make sure that you have a good fit and feel with them, and they need to have that chemistry with you because they should have the heart of a teacher. That's why we work with them, and we hold them to that standard, and we want you to be able to understand everything that you would do. So when you sit with them, come in there, pencil and paper, lots of questions, ask the specifics. I'm scared of this because, and take those real scenarios to them and let them walk you through to the point that you go, okay, now I understand. And knowledge is a wonderful antidote to fear. So take those questions, decide who you feel is the best partner with you because you're the one making the decisions, not them. I just want to make sure that you know that, and then you're going to be fine. You're so disciplined and measured that you just need a good guide.
Yeah, and that's a great point. In any of these industries, when it comes to your money that is specific, whether it's investing, tax, insurance, having someone on your side that you actually like and trust versus someone that's slimy and you're like, I don't trust them, it's not worth working with people that you don't like. I mean, honestly. So yeah, I think that's a great point. So Mark, get a couple of names of some SmartVestor pros, interview them, and hopefully they can help guide you when it comes to looking at some retirement options. All right, next up we have Janelle in Orlando. Hey, Janelle, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. How can we help?
Yeah, so my husband and I are wondering if we should sell our house to pay off our debt that's just taking up most of our income.
Yeah. Okay. So how much debt do you guys have?
Just in revolving credit card debt and personal loan, we have $95,000, and then we have like $20,000 student loans, $33,000, and our car loan, and so it's just a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. How much do you guys make a year?
My husband makes about $135 a year, and he also gets VA benefits.
Okay. And your house, tell me about that. How much do you guys owe on it?
We owe $495. Our realtor is saying that we should list it at $675 to $685, and that would probably bring us home with just enough to put like $20,000 in savings and pay like all of our debt or most of our debt off completely.
Yeah. Okay.
Where would you live?
Big thing is our family. So we would rent. We would get a rental in the same neighborhood to try to keep our kids in the school systems that they're in right now. And the thing is that we have family members that used to be our realtors that are very close to us that are pushing back and saying that because we have a low interest rate, we should try to get a HELOC or something to like fight it out and try to make a little more room in our budget. But right now, like the amount of money that we pay out to credit cards and all this stuff is, my husband makes so much money and we don't see any of it. We have nothing.
Are you upside down in the cars?
We only have one car. It's just the Jeep, and I wouldn't say upside down.
How much could you get for it?
We're probably break even. We could probably break even for it. It's $33,000. We haven't explored the option of selling it yet.
Well, that'll relieve a car payment. How much is that car payment a month?
$600.
Yeah. Ooh. So that would feel good just to get that out of the way. Do you guys have any savings?
We have that baby step number one that keeps getting depleted because we have had thing after thing happen with us with like vet bills and all these things, and we didn't have.
And how much is
what we really want?
Yeah, for sure. How much is your mortgage payment? A month?
It's $2,700.
$2,700. Okay. Oh man. Well, here's the deal. We don't always recommend just selling your house to get out of debt. That if there's a way for you to stay in it, because, if there's a way for you to stay in it, then it's it's not the thing that's going to make or break you. Yes. Could you sell it and wipe all of this out and have money in savings and feel completely different at the end of the day? Absolutely. But in y'all's mortgage payment, I mean, it's climbing up there with that, that 25, 30% that we talk about. So you're kind of still in that range. For you, Janelle, what is do you guys want to sell? Do you want to sell and just get out? Who cares what your family says?
So yeah, that's the thing. It's such a beautiful big house, but we value things, our experiences more. And my husband, feels like there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and so we just a big part of us wants to just wipe it and be done and be let's pay all our debt off.
Sure. Okay. So there's the factor of having completely that piece. So Janelle, that could be an option. Yeah, for you guys looking at. Don't listen to your family, and look to see. Okay, what can we do? Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. Headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with best-selling author and Ramsey personality Ken Coleman. So we are taking your calls at 888-825-5225. We're talking about careers.
Yeah.
Your career, your money.
Yeah, so work.
Your life.
Yeah, like a big shuffle. How do you make more money? Well, getting promoted is one way. Changing jobs. Maybe you're in a toxic situation. So I'm here to answer any of those work questions. And Rachel's here on the money stuff. And, of course, we have quite a few opinions on any relationship stuff as well.
On all of it.
I mean, we are married. We're not married to each other.
No.
But we have kids.
Yes.
And you never know. New people. I said we were married, and I was like, wait a second. We're not. We're married to other people.
We have our spouses.
We have spouses. So we could take on the marriage. Stacy and Winston.
How many years for you guys?
Oh, 24 and a half. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've got the silver anniversary coming up next year.
Yeah, you do.
I may need to consult with you on the rock. You got to upgrade it at 25.
Wow.
Don't you
really?
think? Isn't that a thing?
I didn't know there was an actual time frame, but
25 years.
Stacey probably won't be mad about it.
The woman deserves a lot. Let's just be honest. Putting up with me for that long. My goodness gracious. So there you go. It can be done.
That's right.
How long have you and Winston been married?
It'll be 13.
13, 3 kids.
13, 3 kids. Yep.
You're in the middle of it.
We're brilliant. We know all the answers to everything.
I'll tell you what we do know a lot of. Both of us, we both know what not to do.
That's right.
So we can guide you from that standpoint.
Learned some lessons.
Yeah, boy, have we.
All right. So first up here on the phones, we got Sheila in Pensacola. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. How can we help?
I am calling because I inherited our IRA account from my husband. He passed from COVID in October last year.
Oh.
And it is driving me nuts watching this account just go down. I am not a gambler. And I need to know, where can I put this money to where it won't be losing and I won't have to pay any penalties or taxes or anything. Just put it somewhere safe. Would a CD be good?
Sheila, how old are you?
I am 55.
55, okay.
Oh, that's young. 55 years young, Sheila. Come on. So Sheila, I want to.
Right now, I don't feel like it.
I know. Some days I don't feel as young as I am, but it is what it is. Hey, here's what I want you to hear. You just told Rachel and I that you're not a gambler.
No.
But if you pull that money out of that IRA, you are gambling. Because you've not lost any money in that IRA, despite the balance that you're seeing day in and day out. You've not lost any of that unless you pull it out. But right now, the stock market is in a true bear situation. It's a bear market, and there's a lot of money on the sidelines because of interest rates going up and very smart money people who play the stock market, which affects your retirement account. It's real, but they're just on the sidelines right now. I just saw an article today, trillions of dollars. I think it's $4 trillion of cash has been pulled out of the market recently, and it's sitting there. It's going to come back. And what you have to do, and Dave has said this for years, Rachel, stay on the roller coaster. Yeah. And right now, that roller coaster is in a big dip, but it is going to come back. And I want you to look at it this way. Any money that you were to put in that, not to say that you are, but I'm looking at my 401k, and I'm looking at it going, every time I contribute to that, Rachel, in this bear market, I am getting stocks and those mutual funds.
At a deal.
At a deal. I'm getting them at a discount because when the roller coaster comes back up, Sheila, and it's going to, well, you're going to be sitting pretty. So my recommendation is stop looking at it every day, and then play to who you really are. And you don't want to gamble, so don't pull that money out. That would be gambling.
Yeah, and the taxes and everything else and the penalties that you'll have, Sheila, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. So ride the roller coaster. Warren Buffett, one of my favorite quotes he always says is that people make the worst money decisions when they're drunk or when they're afraid.
Yep, that's true.
And fear is and I understand it. When you're looking at the numbers, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But listen, I wouldn't, even at 55 years old, stay in it because it's just like Ken said, we believe in the American economy enough that it's going to come back. It may take time. It's going to take time. But wait it out, because when it does, you're going to feel it again, and you're going to wish that 2022 Sheila hadn't touched it, because you're going to look up at 62, 65, 68 and have an IRA that your husband, that I'm so sorry for your loss, passed to you, that you're going to have that to be able to retire and to live off of the interest off of that. And so I would not put it in a CD. You're not going to make anything. Yes, it feels safe. And if you were older, if you were 75, 80, this could be a different discussion of what you do, but you're still young, Sheila. You're 55. So you got some years. Thanks for the call. All right. Up next is Bob in Sacramento. Hey, Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. How can we help?
I am buying a house. The sale price is $530 is what we're paying, $530K.
Okay.
My question is, I'm putting the proceeds from the house I'm selling, all of that proceeds into the down payment. I'm going to end up with about a $200,000 loan. I have about $337,000 in IRA and 401K. Mostly all stocks that are all going south right now. My question is am I better off paying that and knocking that loan down, or not doing that, because none of it is Roth, so I'm going to have to pay
taxes on it, and penalties.
No. You're fine. Okay, you've got a huge down payment on that house. You only have $200,000 left. You've been disciplined at this point. You can pay that off. Sit on those stocks and mutual funds. Don't touch them. Let them continue to ride the roller coaster like our last caller. You're in the dip right now, and it's going to come back up. And my goodness, that's a tremendous, congratulations. That's a tremendous down payment on a $530,000 house.
It's amazing. And you'll have a $200,000 loan.
And rates are still historically low, even if they're a bit above 6. I don't know what they are today, but it's still, you're in great financial shape with that down payment.
Yeah. So Bob, no, I would not touch retirement. If these were just standard mutual funds, then, or just you had single stocks or something, we could look at a different option. But no, it's not worth cashing out retirement. Even though I appreciate your intensity to get this house paid off, I still would not, do not touch retirement to do it. So thanks for the call. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. We are taking your calls at 888-825-5225. So when it comes to being intentional, having goals, knowing what you want in life, it can be really hard when you think, okay, I want to, win with my money. I want to win in my relationships. I want to have a better spiritual walk. But if you don't have the right tools, if you don't have the right guidance, it can be very difficult to either set those goals or to follow through with them. So that's why I am so excited to introduce the new 2023 Ramsey Goal Planner. So this is beautiful, number one. The cover of it.
It's very sturdy.
Do you see that gold?
You could kill a person with this.
See that gold?
It's so heavy. So meaty.
Just gorgeous. Gorgeous.
It is very nice.
But me, George Camel, and Dr. John Deloney have new monthly teachings here in the Ramsey Goal Planner to help you when it comes to your financial goals, your relationship goals, and your spiritual goals. And you get everything. You get monthly check-ins, you get the calendar, everything that a good planner has. And those of you that love planners will love this one. So make sure to check it out. They always sell out quickly every year, but you can get yours at ramseysolutions.com/planner.
So you got your monthly view, and then you got your daily view. You got some teaching from each of you.
Yes.
Some notes. I can tell you what I like about it, the tabs.
You're a tab guy.
I'm a tab guy.
Yeah, love a good tab.
I've always loved a Bible that had the tabs.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
So good.
And boy, it's just very easy. And it is sturdy. My goodness. That's got
know what you need. I know.
Do we know how much this weighs?
Do I?
It's very impressive.
It's
my point in saying that is that's not your flimsy
calendar. Paper calendar.
That you get at the convenience store or the. Do they sell those at the convenience store? I'm struggling right now.
I don't know. You're
the pharmacy.
You're back in the 80s.
Like at the pharmacy.
Wow.
You know what I almost said?
You just went.
Almost said dime store. That would have thrown you for a loop.
You went 60s, 70s on me, kid. Man.
Yeah.
It's 2022.
Yeah. You go get yourself a milkshake and a planner.
Sit at the old
pharmacy.
booth.
Sit at the counter. The 5 and dime store. Do you even know what that is?
No, I don't.
Never heard it before in her life, folks.
No, I've heard of it. I just I don't know if
I'm trying to keep it old school for her, folks. There's a guy in the lobby that appreciates the 5 and dime
That's
comment.
your spiritual gift,
It
Ken.
is.
Always bringing us back.
Something
to the
old.
Mm-hmm. Something old and something new.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Next up, we have Brittany in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Brittany. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. I'm so grateful you took my call. So my question kind of boils down to how to provide best for my 5 kids. I recently, in the last couple of years, have become a single mom. Support has been cut off. It's been more and more increasingly difficult to co-parent with my ex. And I had a side business that I had built up to just kind of help my family out the last few years. Brought in $12,000 last year, but now I have to be a fully supported single mom. I no longer get to homeschool my kids. That's a bit of a struggle. But my current job, I make $16 an hour. I am grateful for the opportunity. It was a former client of mine from my other business who knows how important my business is and wanted to give me that opportunity to be able to take a day off to continue building that for my children. But I'm just struggling with trying to figure out the next step or how best to provide.
Can I ask you what your business is, the side business?
Okay, so I'm a professional organizer.
Okay.
In my current job, I am a fire and flood restoration technician.
Okay. And what do you make as an organizer? Is it by project? Is it hourly or both?
It's hourly. I currently make $50 an hour in my side business.
Forgive my ignorance. Is this like, is this organizing people's closets, pantries, houses, garages? Anything.
90% of what I do is actually, I consider it the psychological, emotional side of it, because I have a very strong philosophy. If you need me to come back 6 months from now, I failed you.
Oh, wow.
So I do not have the same mentality that some of my organizer friends have.
Sure.
I want to get them from top to bottom, front to back. If we go through everything you own, you should not need me again. Your house should work for you to such a degree
so
that
Brittany,
you never need somebody else.
So I think you're the perfect person to get out of this situation you're in. Obviously, there's some deadbeat stuff going on from your ex and not paying support and all that stuff. We can't fix that. We can't control that. So we got to focus on what you can control. And a person like you that is a professional organizer and helping others understand organization, you're really well equipped for this. I want to start with that encouragement. But I want to look at not just your income. I want Rachel to help you through maybe what your expenses are, and she can really help you with that. But I am curious to know if you feel like that you're able to make another $12,000 or maybe more with this day off from your former customer. I'm curious about that. Do you feel like you can still make $12,000 on the side or even more with your current schedule and responsibilities?
It takes more. I can't. Most of my organizing gigs are during the week, during the day, which is when my
of course. So the answer is
I would have
you're
to
limited.
The day off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you able to do that? You're using that day off to do it, or are we?
I am taking. What I do is if I get a client, then I take a day off from my current job. I just tell them, hey, I won't be in tomorrow. Hey, I won't be in Thursday. And they've been very understanding. But my only current way to get clients at this point is Thumbtack. And I haven't had a lot of I haven't had a lot of traffic there.
Okay, so lately. I want Rachel to help you on budgeting and spending and all that. I want to transfer you to her, but I would say this. You, with your abilities, your skill set and experience, you should be making more than $16 an hour. And one of the things I want to challenge you on is in our current economy, we're talking about Target and Walmart, just to use two big box examples, are paying people at starting rates of $19, $20, $21, $22 an hour. And I think that's what you've got to be doing as a single mom with 5 babies. You have got to be doing everything you can to bring in the most income in to get financially to a place where maybe we can come back to that business. And I want to encourage your heart to say, if you've got to press pause on this side business for a season, it is a season, not a sentence. It is not dead. It's not over. It's not gone forever. I want to encourage your heart on that.
Yeah, and to be in a spot, Brittany, because it's a pretty unique thing that you have the flexibility of your current job to be able to kind of call in and say, hey, I'm going to take tomorrow off, because you're able to get paid $50 an hour at this other gig, and you can kind of swap. So if there's another situation that you pay more than $16 an hour, so again, kind of what Ken was saying, the big box stuff, so whether it's Walmart or Target or something, if there is another option career-wise that you get paid more per hour and still have that flexibility to pull in that side job because it's paying you so much, that's ideal. So are you... Brittany, are you behind on any bills right now? Are you current? What's your debt? Tell me kind of your situation.
I'm currently living in an unstable housing situation, which I am actively working daily trying to find a new one. I could be homeless by the 15th, but I'm not sure about that yet.
And what's that? Okay.
So the house is in my ex's and my name.
Okay.
But unfortunately, some legal stuff, the judge the judges declared that I am now responsible for everything. He hasn't been paying child support, which would help towards that. So if I don't pay by the 5th, I am homeless by the 15th. So
is this an
I am
apartment
working on a new
mortgage or just a rent?
House, the mortgage on the house.
Okay, so I don't want you behind on that. So for you and the kids, do you have the income to pay it, or you don't right now?
At this point, I do not have what he says I owe, which there is a debate. He's behind months, and he's saying that I owe him $5,000 in order to stay in the house, and that's not feasible. So I am working through that with my lawyers, and
we're going to get you connected to one of our financial coaches as our gift, because they can walk you through the minutiae and detail that we cannot on this phone call. So hang on the line. We're going to get you connected, FPU, everything that we can give you right now to help you out. Hang on, Mama Bear. You're going to get through this. We're going to get you connected to one of our financial coaches.
Thanks for calling.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, we have Adam and Jennifer. Welcome, you guys.
Hey, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Where are you guys from?
We're from Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I guess you're on the stage for one reason and one reason only.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to do a debt-free scream today.
Debt-free. Congratulations, you guys.
Oh, we're excited. We're
okay,
pumped.
so how much debt did you pay off?
$150,000.
Nice. Making what kind of income during that time?
Like 160 to 220.
How long did it take, by the way?
Yeah, that was over about 5 years and 10 months.
5 years, 10 months.
And what was the debt?
It was our house.
It was our house.
Whoa.
It was our house.
Did it all. You're completely
Yep.
debt-free.
Completely debt-free.
Amazing,
no debt.
you guys. So what happened 5.5 years ago that made you think, we want to pay off our house?
So that was how long we've had our house for. That was when we bought our house in fall of 2016. And our debt-free journey actually started in 2013.
Yeah.
That's when we got married. We graduated with student loans of about $200,000. And we actually, in early 2016, finished paying those off and did a debt-free scream at the old studio.
Okay,
Yep.
And so when we bought our house, we knew we didn't want debt forever. We didn't want a 15-year mortgage even. So we made a commitment to paying it off early. And we didn't know how long that would be, but we stayed diligent and just paid off as we could. And here we are, 70 months later, and we're debt-free again.
Wow. Second time.
Second time.
So you guys got some experience. It's just a new building, new stage. You've done this before.
I mean, yeah, we had to come check out the campus, and we kind of said, we're going to go do another debt-free scream. And I mean, I didn't have to convince her very much to come back. So
I love it. Yeah. So we do celebrate people that pay off all their consumer debt.
Right.
And then some people either come back, which I don't know if we've had many repeats. This is pretty fun.
I was wondering that
or
myself.
people just do the whole thing and they come and do their debt-free scream and the mortgage is paid off. So I'm curious for you guys, what's the difference in the feeling of paying off all that student loan and the consumer debt and that versus paying off your mortgage?
It is different. The journey itself was different too, because the first round was so intense. We were very gazelle intense. Everything that we made went to our loans. Where this time it was more over the long haul. And so the diligence and consistency of, we weren't seeing those huge chunks going at it every single month like our student loans.
Right.
Because we had other things going on. We had 2 kids in that time. We upgraded 2 cars. We had retirement savings. You know, that 4, 5, and 6 is slower. So it's a little bit more that like slow and steady feeling.
Exactly. What was your down payment on that house?
It was about 40, I think. Our
45.
house at the time was 194 when we bought it.
Oh wow, good for you.
Amazing, you guys. Okay, so what was the hardest part of paying off your house? Because people are hearing that and they're thinking, that's crazy. Because how old are you guys? We're
35.
35 and not a house payment. Incredible.
Yeah, I think the hardest part would probably be not letting that life creep, you know, come in there. And also, like Jennifer said, with the student loans we had, you know, it was really, you would get, you know, having that reward of getting those big payments every month. And even, you know, over the 5 years and 10 months, there were plenty of months when we didn't have much extra to go towards the house. And so we had to just kind of encourage each other more. And there weren't really, it was more slow, but even the slow version was still, we had to zoom out a lot and be like, hey, this is awesome. We're really, you know, we're doing a great thing here, and this is not, you know, normal, like we say, like you guys always say, we're weird. And
I think we've been doing the Ramsey way for so long, we kind of forgotten that it's not normal. Like for us, this is what we've been doing pretty much our whole marriage. But there's people out there just getting started who are just trying to figure it out. So that's why we wanted to come back, to be an encouragement to those people that, you know, are just getting started, that need to hear that it can happen. And we were just thinking back how, you know, we couldn't be here with a paid off house if we hadn't done the work back several years ago. If we hadn't paid off our student loans then, we certainly wouldn't be here. We probably could have bought a house then and been $400,000 in debt then, and it wouldn't have been anywhere.
Right. And the financial side of that, you're exactly right. And I think the emotional side, the character qualities, what is built within you when you go and pay off consumer debt and you sacrifice everything y'all were talking about. It was so intense, all that sacrifice, that same type of motivation there, right? Like that changes who you are. So when you lead into baby steps 4, 5, 6, and 7, as we're talking about that, like that is a slower pace. And so we tell people, you know, you can kind of let your foot off the gas.
We kind of said last night, we said you kind of go from that intensity to consistency, you know, and it's just.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. All right, hold on. That's really good.
I knew that was tweetable. I knew that was good.
That's absolutely a tweet right there. That is fantastic. And I have a follow-up question on that. That's really, really good. How much did the previous journey allow you to be so automated? The way you kind of described.
I mean, we already had our budget in place, and it took a lot more tweaking and talking about once we finished that first section. But we had the budget in place. We had our communication in place. You know, that's been a part of our marriage this whole time, is being on the same page about our money. And that was huge, starting out our marriage that way. And we've just really kind of built on that this whole time.
For sure. Yeah.
I got to ask, how much is that house worth, you think?
I think about $290.
Come on now. How does that feel, big man?
It feels good. It feels really good. We're only about a month or two, you know, into it. So we've
I think it hasn't set in yet even. Like we're still just now figuring out, like, what do we do now? What does our budget look like now that we don't have that?
Did you guys take your shoes off and do what Dave says all the time? I wonder how many people actually go out and feel the grass.
We did.
Nice.
Does it feel different? I need to know. I think people want to know.
Different.
It does. It feels good.
Okay.
It's good.
All right.
That's amazing. And you guys killed it. I mean, within 5 years, because most people on average doing this, it's about 7 years to pay off the house is what we see. So you guys,
and that's what we kind of thought it probably would be, like 7 or 8 years. You know, we weren't really like pushing it real hard, but then like I said, we had 2 kids in that time. That kind of slows things down.
Did a lot. So great. Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thank you
so what's the secret when it comes to paying off your house?
It's hard to put that it's hard to put it just in one thing. I think just consistency, like we said.
I think everyone says it, but the budget. You really have to know what you're spending to know then where it can go and how you can cut back. Especially now, we look at our grocery budget right now, and when the groceries are so expensive at the store, you wouldn't even notice if you didn't have a budget to notice how much more you're spending right now. So that really helps you stay consistent every single month, looking at it and seeing where your money's going.
I love it.
I know everybody says it, but it's because
it's a tool
that helps.
It's true. And the more you focus on the budget, then you can start to see the hope in the situation, and
see the progress you're making. Then, then you know what's left over, and you know exactly what you're doing with that leftover money.
Well, you guys are absolutely incredible. So impressive. Mid-30s, no debt at all, not even a mortgage payment. So bring up the two little ones.
Yeah, bring them on up.
You guys ready?
Who do we have?
Over, okay?
What are their names? Names and ages.
This is Brooks, and he's 4.5, and this is Elise, and she's 2.5.
Oh, I like her. She's got a little juice up there.
Oh man, yeah, she's
little pep in her step.
All right, you guys ready?
Absolutely amazing. All right, so we have Adam and Jennifer, Brooks and Elise from Muscle Shoals,
That's right.
Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Paid off $150,000, which includes their house, making $160 a year. Did it in 5 years. All right, you guys.
Okay, Brooks,
count
you
it
ready?
down. Let's hear your debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. It's possible.
It is possible.
That's what it's
it's fun. You look at those two little ones, Brooks and Elise, I'm her new number one fan, by the way.
Yeah, you love her.
I love her. She's fantastic. But those kiddos have no idea the sacrifice and then the unbelievable future they have, the legacy that mom and dad will be passing on to them. That's why we do the show for families like that. So cool.
The example too. More is caught than taught in those kids. The house that they're growing up in is incredible. Parents that took control. Congratulations, you guys. In America, it's possible for you too. Make the decision. Do something different. This is The Ramsey Show. Today's question from Blinds.com. Blinds.com, 100% satisfaction guaranteed means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promo codes they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Shirley in Wisconsin. How do you feel about women being stay-at-home moms and not bringing in an income after they have a baby? Do you feel like that is an unwise financial decision? First of all, I think it's fan-freaking-tastic. I think it's the greatest role in the world. To be a mom, to be a full-time mom, stay-at-home mom, however you want to define it. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom for large portions. There have been seasons where she has worked. And so into that second part of the question, do you feel like that is unwise as a financial decision? The answer is no. Because there are other decisions, other lifestyle choices that we make that cause us to have financial stress. But to be a stay-at-home mom, the act of being a stay-at-home mom is not an unwise decision in any way. Now, if you've got to change some financial things that you've done, but that's something you did previous to little one on the way. So I think I hear the spirit of this, Rachel, and just as a male, I wanted to sound off just to say, I hope no one ever looks down at that role. It's an important season. And no one should shame a mom for wanting to work at home, because that's what it is. It is working at home. I mean, it's not like you're eating bonbons and
always
watching.
Is like, I'm like, oh my God, you're not staying anywhere. You are running around.
Would you add to that as a professional mom?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you're saving on childcare.
Yeah.
Think about all. I mean, there was a study that was run, and it was basically like all of the mileage the average mom drives, the food that she cooks, the house that she cleans, all the child care provide, all of it. And it's like $1.2 million or something. You're like, if you were to outsource all of that, which I know people don't do that, but
the errands that Stacey runs for us,
all of it,
not just for me,
you hold your
for
family
us.
together. I mean, it is so.
I think that Stacey is the CEO of the Coleman household, and I have no problem saying that.
Oh, for sure.
I don't feel weak. I don't feel less than. I mean, she's the chief executive officer. There is no question about it.
Now we do. So it's fascinating too. The whole stay-at-home, a little bit of the discussion when it comes to money, and even when you talk about debt, because there are a lot of moms where their motivation to get out of debt is to go home, because they're like, if I don't have these bills, I don't need my income. And then for other people, while they're getting out of debt, a stay-at-home mom may say, hey, I'm going to go work part-time to make some income to get out of debt even faster, right? So like, there's always seasons of life regardless, but no, if there's a black and white question of, is it unwise decision when it comes to finances? No.
Or family.
No. In fact, it's a gift. It is a huge gift. So thanks for the question, though, Shirley. All right. Going to the phones at this hour, we have Jared in Birmingham. Hey, Jared. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're doing well. How can we help?
Good. Well, my wife and I have been working the baby steps, and we just moved into our first house in July.
Nice. Congratulations.
Well, it's been great. We've enjoyed it. However, the past week, we developed a leak in our crawl space.
Oh.
And we've had water restoration company and insurance adjusters already come out and basically determined that they're going to have to pull up all of our hardwoods and do a lot of renovation to the home.
Where'd the water come from?
It came from a hot water heater. Basically, the copper pipe eroded, and there was a leak for a little while, and it did quite a bit of damage.
In inspection or anything?
They didn't. They didn't catch it. So,
and it has ruined your hardwoods or your floor?
Most of our hardwoods have buckled up. So they basically determined that they're going to replace all the hardwoods throughout the whole house.
Okay, this is just for America. Can we just stop for a second? Jared, we're gonna get to your question. This is for America. When someone's like, I just want to go buy a house. It's cheaper than renting. This is what happens to homeowners. You get this crap, and it is expensive. To own a home is freaking expensive. So, Jared, I am so sorry this has happened to you. But this is why homeownership it's great. And when you're in a financial position to do it, yes, I would do it. But this is why you don't need to go buy a house when you're living paycheck to paycheck with no savings in the bank, because you're freaking harder.
This could happen.
This is it. This is exactly what happens.
But Jared, it is going to be okay.
Right. You're fine. I'm using this as a teaching lesson.
Yeah, she's not trying to pour salt on your wound.
No, I'm
I
not.
promise.
I'm not. But you feel it. So what's the question, Jared? How can we help?
Well, my quick question: what's your out of pocket then on this?
So our out of pocket will be a $3,000 deductible. So we've got about 4 months in our emergency funds, maybe 5 months.
Which is how much?
So it's about $18,000 right now.
So what's your question?
Really, the question is, we're really excited about getting into investing and, baby steps 4, 5, and 6. But, with this situation going on, we felt like we've held off on investing for so long. We're just wondering, should we just kind of hold out and keep stacking up cash for the emergency fund, or would it be okay to go ahead and get started with some investing and just work through this whole process while investing, or should we just hold off for a couple more months?
No, I would be investing, because you have an emergency fund for emergencies, and this.
Can you cash flow this, or is this an emergency for you?
No, I mean we could probably even cash flow this throughout this process, or we could just dip a little bit into the emergency fund to take care of it.
Yep. That's what I would do. I would not stop investing because you guys have enough margin here with the emergency fund and you being able to cash flow it. No, I wouldn't pause. I understand the hesitation of like, oh God, this could be expensive and, are we going to put money in investments? But you guys are in a great spot, Jared. This is why you do what you do with the emergency fund and and being out of debt. You have margin with your income. So no, I would not pause investing. I would keep doing that. And you guys use the emergency fund too if you need to. This is what's funny. Yeah. People emotionally.
I don't like using it.
I don't like either.
That's what my answer was. I just have to admit, I'm like, well, if you can cash flow it.
Yes, and
I hate touching the emergency fund. But this goes. This is a broader question. We have a lot of new people always watching and listening to the show. So for new folks, I actually, Jared, hang with us. I want to ask Rachel to talk about this. What defines the emergency? And because in this situation, he was saying we probably can cash flow it, but that would be, Jared, I'm guessing that's a pretty sizable budget adjustment in order to cash flow it. Is that true?
Right.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I want to ask you. You've been teaching this longer. So now does that make it an emergency when he's got to make that big of a budget adjustment?
Well, for me, an emergency is always when it's unplanned.
Right.
And it's unexpected.
Well, this is it.
And this is it. I mean, this is truly when you're like, oh my gosh, this came up.
What's
and we
wrong
didn't
with
know.
me? Why do I not want to touch the emergency
And I don't either.
fund?
So if I was Jared and we could cash flow it, I wouldn't touch it either. And I would just say, hey, I'll cut back on the budget.
That's what I would want to do.
Yeah, because you can cut back for 2-3 months, whatever it is for you guys, Jared, just to cash flow, because you're going to have to go and fill the emergency fund back up. So either way, you're going to be moving your budget. Yeah. So I would rather have the pain in the present and just do it, not touch the emergency fund. But if he needs it,
it's there.
If he needs it, it's there, right? Like if this came in as a $6,000, then I'd be like, man, can you cash flow 3, pull 3 out of the emergency fund? Kind of figure it out. But
and Jared, we only got about 60 seconds, but I want America to hear, how does it feel emotionally? Because this sucks. But to have the money and not be stressed out beyond the fact that it sucks, how does that feel?
It felt great. I mean, my wife and I, we just looked at each other like, of course this would happen, just moving into the house.
It's terrible.
But then we had so many moments, where we're just like, hey, this is why we've, worked this process through the whole time with Dave Ramsey's the plan. So, just the stress of the money is just kind of out of the equation, and it's just an inconvenience,
That's right. It takes a crisis and turns
now
it
you get to focus on new hardwoods.
Yeah. Yay! And that's another thing. Would you maybe cash flow some, new hardwoods and maybe upgrade the quality a little bit, maybe? Or
within reason, within budget, absolutely, I would.
I wouldn't dip in the emergency fund for that specifically to upgrade.
That's right.
But if you guys had the cash flow to be able to upgrade and it's something else you want, you get to pick some new finishes, Jared. Oh. That's an exciting part.
I knew you would step up. I didn't know how to say that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That's exciting. Hey, make it a date night.
Yeah,
head on over to your local hardwood dealer and make mama happy. Let her pick out a good one.
Thanks for hosting with me. Thanks to James, Ben, Zach, Andrew, Austin, everyone there in the booth. And thank you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
Of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, co-hosting this hour with Ramsey personality and best-selling author Ken Coleman.
We're going to have some fun. All right, we're taking the money questions. We're going to take the general life questions. We're going to talk about your work, potentially. Some of you are struggling in your work. Maybe you're feeling like, hey, this inflation's got me down. I need to make some more money. Well, we want to help you make more money. And many times that's getting promoted, maybe getting a better job. So I'm here to weigh in on some of those questions. And we're just going to help you out. We're going to have a blast with you. So give us a shout.
Yes, at 888-825-5225. It's a free call anywhere in the country. So first up, we have Neil in St. Louis. Hey, Neil. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing well. Thanks. Thanks for calling.
That's good. Well, my question is mainly about like focus and what I should be putting all my energy into with my life, because a lot has changed in the last 3 years. First, 5 years ago, I got married, and then my business has been growing year over year like crazy. And this year, like, we're just killing it. And
nice.
Congratulations.
Do you mind telling us about your business? What kind of business is it?
I'm a brick and stone mason.
No kidding.
So,
that was my second job ever during summer between my freshman and sophomore year, working for a brick mason. So I have a special affinity for that. I'm glad business is booming.
Well, yeah, it's awesome. And, I'm about to hire my fifth and sixth guy next week.
Wow.
And so during that time also, while the business is growing, I've had 5 kids in 3 years.
Whoa.
And,
Twins? Adoption? What happened?
Well, yeah, I had number 1, number 2, and then 3 and 4 came in the first 2 years. And then number 5 just came 3 months ago.
Oh.
My goodness.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Neil,
Well,
how you doing, Neil?
Neil, have you slept in the last 5 years?
Well, my wife hasn't. Well, I'm just kidding. No, she.
Easy.
We're a good team, and we love kids, and we have a really good system down for that, and our kids are great. And
Congratulations. That's a blessing. That is awesome.
Your wife is fantastic.
Congratulations.
That's
awesome.
Wow. So what's up?
And
what's the question?
So my question is, so when I knew this baby number 5 was coming, we've been blessed like our whole life with whatever's coming at us, and we had a van, and I wanted to donate my van to somebody else because there was someone in need, and I was praying about this, but I needed a van to come my way and also a big job to come and cover that van, So baby number 5 comes, the paycheck didn't come in right away, so I donated the van. I bought a van with a loan for because I needed a bigger van than just a 4 that can hold 4. I needed it to hold 5, and so I have like $29,000 in debt now, and we don't really do debt. And I have the money to cover it. I just want to know, but I also would like to use that money for growing the business and focusing on paying people, because I have a lot of money set aside for always having payroll going, And
well, is the van in your name? It's not a company van, correct? Or is it in your name?
It's my name. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the question? You don't do debt, but you went out and did it. So what do you want us to tell you?
Should I pay the van off?
Yes.
Or pay it off right away?
Yes, if you have the money.
But it also sounds, Neil, like you're mixing your business finances and your personal finances, because you said I have the money, but I could use that for payroll and the business, all that.
That's
so
why
that's where things. Do what?
That's part of the growth. Like I've hired the 6 people in the last year and a half, and my business wasn't like set up officially, and I've been doing all that, like getting all turning it into like a corporation.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
So that's all part of the transition. I've been going to different meetings with people and
Okay, so let me
set it up officially.
All right, so let me just ask you very quickly: do you have the $29,000 in the bank right now, or in your personal account, or is in the company account? You'd have to do some moving around.
Yeah, personal and company account is the same thing right now. So yeah,
okay, but let me ask a better question. The $29,000, you've got that set aside for what specifically for the business?
Nothing specific, just so I don't.
Okay, well, you don't have to pay it all off at once, although I would if you could, but I also want you to be responsible because of the fact that is your retained earnings for your business. So I guess the answer is we want you to pay it off as quickly as possible. Do you have to pay it off today with $29,000 payment? If you can, and it doesn't hurt you or put your company at risk.
Yeah, and that's when, Neil, you really do. I mean, and I know you know this because you said you were doing it, but that's where separating personal and business is so important. And you pay yourself out of the business, and then out of that, that earnings, right, is where you go and say, okay, here as our family, we have this amount. But man, if it doesn't, I don't want to put your work in jeopardy. I don't want you to like do something and now you can't pay someone or something like that. I want you to have your bases covered in your business, but I would get those separated as soon as possible so that it's a clearer answer for you to be able to say with your wife, we have this amount in the bank as a family. Do you guys have an emergency fund with your family, not including the business?
Yeah, we got all that. So, I mean, we have probably like 40,000.
How much more do you have what other retained earnings do you have in the business that's going to help it stay afloat? If you paid off the van today, let's just pretend, and that 29,000 was gone, where does that put you in your business?
I'll probably have about 10,000 left in the bank, and then, but I have these big jobs that I've been working on. I have it set up where I'm getting paid. Like I'm probably getting 10,000 a week from jobs coming in consistently for the next 6 months, like at least, and then and I got a lot of jobs coming in, so I have consistent money coming in all the time. And I guess I'm nervous that what if they stop paying me or something goes wrong or weird, because it's just all this growth happening at once. It's great, but
all right, then so be methodical. And I want to follow up on what Rachel asked. You do your emergency fund is separate from the 29,000 that we've been talking about, correct?
Everything's kind of lumped together, mixed together. So
I know it's mixed together. What I'm saying is when she asked you, do you have an emergency fund, and you said 30 or 40,000, that does not include the 29 that you would use to pay. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay. What I would do is, in this situation, I would put 10 on the van today. Let's juice this and get the loan down to 19. Okay. Yeah. And then let's commit to maybe another 10 each month. And let's see if we can put 10 each month, so within less than 90 days you've paid off the van, but we still hold some money back. I feel like that's what I do in this situation, because you're right, you're in a construction world and they can change things on you and money can be late, so I don't want you to use it all. But I would commit to 90 days or less we pay that van off.
Yes, and having that plan, and I think getting you going on it is going to also force you to say, okay, I got to separate that personal and business. And I know, Neil, it's been crazy growth, so congratulations. You've had a lot of life change, like you said.
Super awesome.
Marriage, 5 kids, growing business. That's awesome. So thanks, Neil, for calling.
Make that payment today, though. Let's get that momentum going. Pay it today.
This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with best-selling author and Ramsey personality Ken Coleman. And it's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. All right, up next we have Francis in Cincinnati. Hey, Francis, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm a little nervous.
No, you're good. You're good. How can we help?
Okay, I'll just give the basics so I can work out the question. My husband and I make $58,000 annually. We have $25,000 left in debt, mostly student loans, and actually all student loans. We're on baby step 2. We have roughly $15,000 kind of in savings, and so it's a 2-part question. I want to take all of the money that we have right now. That was about $9,000 was gifted to us, and $6,000 is from income tax that came in late. I want to take that all right now and put it all to our student loans, but my husband wants to wait to see if the Biden stuff is going to be, like the student loan forgiveness is going to go through, which I'm not thinking it will, but he just wants to see. So in that way, it's kind of burning a hole in my pocket where there's the second part of the question, sort of. We've been through a lot of emotional things going on. We just had a miscarriage. We're finding a new church. And we're also trying to go minimalism in the home. And we have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And it's lots of upheaval in the home. So I want to go on a vacation. I want to get a different car because we're at the car I drive right now is at 290,000 miles. And it's great, but we also might need to get a new vehicle. So I need some direction because I'm kind of emotionally all over the place right now.
Yes. And you're tired.
Yes.
You're tired. Yep.
Yeah.
You're exhausted, which is fair, which is very
so
fair.
Sorry. We're hurting for you. So sorry that you guys are going through this period.
It's a lot. So, Francis, I always answer this question if I were to wake up in your shoes. I would pay off this debt. You guys have close to half your annual income still in debt at that $25,000. So I would throw $14,000 at it, and I would really, really focus the budget, even though you're exhausted, and even though you know, gosh, I feel like we're gonna have to need a new car soon. I want to go on a vacation. All of that is so real, but I want you guys to really, really tighten up your budget and pay off this debt, because what's going to happen, Francis, when this debt is paid off, suddenly your income's going to go up because it's not going to be going out to payments. You're going to have margin again. You're going to be able to breathe. You're going to be able to save up more for a fully funded emergency fund. And there's just going to be peace. And when it comes to the whole, the Biden forgiveness stuff, like we've told people, it's not a moral, it's not a right or wrong thing. But I wouldn't wait on it. And there's claiming that you can do a refund if you pay it off, that you can go back. So if, excuse me, if it goes through, you can always go and do the refund if that's what you guys want. But I would not sit and wait on this to go through, because there's a lot of opinions, right? And time will tell of what happens. But I would not sit and wait on them on what they're going to do. I would be proactive in your own life. And you guys pay this off, and you guys need some momentum, and you need some quick wins and some rest, right? Like, and I know when we're paying off debt, we talk about being very intense, that you're not going out to eat, you're not doing anything, but find some time, Francis, because you have a 1 and a 3-year-old, so you're exhausted. So find something for you and your husband to go at night. It's like, even if you get a sitter for an hour and you guys just drive. And just do nothing, but just have a break. So make sure that you guys can sustain yourselves during this. But this is possible. I don't know if you can even work a side hustle, or you could pick something up. But I want this debt gone as soon as possible, regardless of what Biden does.
Well, okay. So I guess a follow-up question is: so we have a car, like I said, we have a Toyota Highlander that's at $290,000, and these things do awesome. Would probably run to $300,000. And my husband was just for looking at different vehicles, just to try to but replace this one. And part of me wants to run it into the ground. Part of me wants to get either a Camry or a Corolla or something smaller. But then the other part of me is just like, we still have that money, and I would rather go to debt. I'd rather not have any of the other things that it could be necessary. And then also, how do I get back on the budget? We both have been emotionally drawn, and it's hard for me to even think to function, to have dinner on the table at night. So we've been going out to eat for dinner, and that's emotionally where I am. So it's.
Yeah, are you guys on the same page, Francis? Because it's sounding like, he doesn't want to do this, you want to do that. He's looking up cars, you want to run it into the grounds.
Well, we both have, it's kind of like we've both just been trying to figure this out, trying to figure out whether we should ride the car out. We both have agreed on it, and then we'll come back to this point. It's something that we keep running into.
Yeah.
It's the same point that we both
Yeah,
he's not looking actively. It's just
sure. Okay, that's great. I just wanted to ask because I think part of this too is you guys as a couple being on the same page and plowing through it, because it is going to be exhausting, Francis. But here's the deal too, and then can you jump in? But we hear these stories all the time, and we have people stand on that debt-free stage, and it's not easy. Right? If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And so the exhaustion that you feel is justified because you feel that. But also it's expected in this because to pay off debt, there's a level of sacrifice. And I don't know if you get the crock pot out and you look on Sunday nights and say, we're having chicken, we're having rice and beans on Tuesday, we're having Mexican on Wednesday, and we're going back to chicken in the crock pot Thursday. Like just planning out and not letting your emotions take over every decision and really being intentional about stuff is going to help. But go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I just, if I could be an older brother for a second, I want to encourage you. I don't want you to feel in any way that I'm getting on you, but I'm going to tell you that I think it's totally understandable that you feel so exhausted that cooking is the last thing on your mind. I get it, and I get why you went out to eat. But I think today that has to stop, because here's what I know. Your heart is hurting, and stress isn't going to help it heal faster. But I'll tell you that peace will. Financial peace and the emotional and the mental peace that comes with that will allow you to heal faster. But financial stress will hamper the healing. I know that. I know that. And so what I'm asking you to do is for you two to draw strength from each other, to draw strength from the peace that comes with the plan that we teach, and decide today. Decide today. All right, we're going to actually change the way we live. Yes, I'm exhausted, but I'm going to press through this because going out to eat isn't going to heal the exhaustion. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now you got to choose. We've already made the decision. You know what we didn't do? We didn't actually do it. We decided, but we didn't do it. And I think Rachel's right. I think making these moves is going to give you some momentum behind the decisions that you guys desperately want to make. But now you got to actually do it. I hope that encourages you, because on the other side of this is tremendous peace. You know, it's going to get better.
It is. And Francis, like, this isn't forever, right? A lot of this, and you look and you guys can crunch these numbers, but you have a great savings. And again, if you throw it at the debt, all of this, you guys could have this paid off in less than 12 months. Like, if you guys really, really focused and again, maybe picked up some income, do what you have to do. And what your life could look like in 3 years. You would have an emergency fund, a new car. You get to go out to eat again. Like, I mean, it's not going to take that long to build up, to be out of debt, build up an emergency fund, all of it. But hang on the line, Francis. Austin's going to pick up, and I wanted to give you guys a year subscription to Financial Peace University, which has EveryDollar Plus with it. I want you and your husband to sit down and do this together. And the budget is frustrating, but give yourself 3 months, okay? It's not going to be great next month, not the next month. By December, January, you're going to get the budget going, and you guys are going to have this debt paid off in less than a year. Thanks for calling. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Going to the phones, we have Thomas in Fort Smith. Hey, Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing well, thanks. How can we help?
All right, so I was trying to find out how I could, get a bigger shovel to get out of the situation I'm in. I'm 28 and I have $23,000 in debt. $10,000 of it is student loans. $5,000 of it is a car loan. And I've got about $5,000 in collections, and then about I'd say $1,000 in a personal loan, and then I guess miscellaneous, the other stuff. I don't know off the top of my head.
What do you do for a living now?
So I work at a wholesale distribution center. We sell electrical parts for electricians.
Okay. So are you in sales, customer service?
So I'm a driver, so what they do is they key in the orders, and then I load the material up and take it to the job sites and stuff like that.
Okay, so you deliver parts and things of that nature.
And how much do you make, Thomas?
$16.50 an hour.
Okay. Are you full time? Like 40 hours a week?
Yes.
Okay, so the answer to this is either a part-time job or a better full-time job or both, right? So I'm going to add a part-time job. B, I'm going to I just messed up my whole line of order. It doesn't matter. It's all three of those. Those are your options. So I'm either going to add a part-time job, I'm going to get a better day job, or I'm going to do both. Those are the three options. So do you have the time, based on your responsibilities in life and anything like that, to add a part-time job, add maybe 20 hours, 30 hours a week?
I think it would be possible. So I do have two kids. I have joint custody of my daughter, but her mom would be she'd be willing to work with me in the situation and stuff. So
okay. So that's one option, okay? Right. So now we add, let's say you can get an $18 to $20 an hour job and you're adding 20 hours. You can do the math on that. Man, let me tell you something. That one option alone would allow you to power through the 5K car loan, the 5K in collections. I mean, you could power through that in about 2-3 months. Okay, just really crushing it. Now, if you get a better day job where you're making 20, 22, 25 an hour with any skills that you have, I would make that move. I would make that move right now and then potentially add the part-time job. So that's the short answer, and it's literally you putting yourself out there. And we are in a wonderful job economy right now, and this is you just shaking the tree here to go, okay, what's available out there where I live, where I can make $20-25 an hour, even if it's just sheer labor. Right now you're driving a truck and delivering parts. So there's no question in my mind that you can go do this, but you got to look intently and then decide and understand this. This doesn't have to be a major career move. This is a season by which you are bringing in more money. I love that you called to ask, how can I make my shovel bigger? And that's just Ramsey Solutions speak for more income so I can pay off the debt faster. But those are your three options.
Right. So I think that I can do all that. I guess one other question I did have was, where do I start? Because I know you guys say don't worry about the interest rates and everything, but I know the baby steps and how to get there and everything, but I don't know, do I start in the collections? Do I start on the student loans? Do I go on the cars? You know, I guess I'm just like, I got my hands in every which direction. I'm like, I need to focus on.
Yeah, what kind of debt's in the collections?
There's a few medical bills.
Okay.
There was a Zills card.
And do you have any savings, Thomas? Do you have any cash?
I've got about $100 on me, and that's the thing too, is I don't have stuff. It wasn't stuff that I accumulated, so I don't really have anything to sell.
Right. No, I hear you. The first move I would make is I would call the debt that you have in collections and just kind of let them know, hey, here's the situation. I have $100 to my name. I'm going to be adding some part-time jobs to get this out, or to be paying this off. But what can I settle with you guys? Because sometimes they'll go, even pennies on the dollar at times. So I would go and ask and just tell them your situation and be like, you're not going to be getting anything anytime soon, but can we settle this? And if they agree and you guys go back and forth, don't ever give them access to your bank account. Don't tell them where you work. Don't do any of that. But if they will settle, get it in writing. And use that, but I would start with the collections of that being behind. So I would start with that first and foremost, then knock out that personal loan, and then the car, and then the student loan. How much? You have 5 left on your car. How much is it worth? Just for the heck of it.
I don't know how much it's worth. I will tell you, it's a 2011 Camry.
Okay.
It's got about 200 and something thousand miles on it, and I know the car market from just hearing you guys, it says it's went up, but I don't believe that car is worth a lot. So.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just thought, like, for the heck of it, what if you could get, I didn't know what kind of car it was. What if you could get $20,000 for it or something? I'm like, you could use that to knock out some of this debt. And
I'd be willing to sell it if I didn't have my kids.
No, and it wouldn't work for that. So so Thomas, this is going to just be a level of diligence and a level of intensity that you probably haven't felt, because a lot of this is so normal, right? You got some car loans, some personal loans. You got some stuff in collections. Like this, what you described is so normal. And so for you, you're going to have to shift out of that mindset. And I know you're ready because you called and were asking. But you're going to feel that intensity for not forever and not for long, because $23,000, you could really knock this out. I want you to up your income because you're making about $35,000 a year. So I think you can make a whole lot more.
A whole lot.
And I think that's going to be your best bet.
Right. See, that's my thing too. Is Ken, I kind of wanted to ask you. So I wanted to eventually, obviously not now, because I know you guys talk about cash flow and your degrees eventually. I'd want to go back in cash flow to get my degree as a mental health counselor, but I'm not sure. I know the concept of how to do it. Obviously, you pay out of pocket, but so, for example, there's jobs here where I'm at. There's 2 jobs. One you could do like a behavioral tech, and then there was another one was a driver job. And you talk about part-time. Well, the driver job was like 11 to 25 an hour. I'm assuming it's based off your experience or whatever, but that kind of gets your foot in the door, and it's a part-time job. Would that be something to look into?
Yeah, but I want you to look at everything, because let me just give you some anecdotal evidence here. Walmart had a major announcement that it was last year, but they are paying tuition. They are reimbursing tuition, paying tuition. So if I'm you in the situation you're in, I'm going, hey, am I willing to work at Walmart? I mean, I'm driving and delivering electrical parts right now. There's no shame in your game there. But if I can work at Walmart making $20, $25 an hour, and they're going to help me with my degree later on, I'm going to work at Walmart right now. That takes care of a couple of things. Number one, I've increased my income. I go get a part-time job on top of that. I'm working every time I don't have my little baby girl with me, and you're working hard, man. And so then once I get all the debt paid off, I can pull back, and I'm a full-time Walmart employee. I try to move up within the organization, and I work with them long enough to where I get an opportunity, and they'll pay my way through school. And then I make the transition. There are so many companies that are willing to pay tuition. I would at least start there and look at it, especially the kind of work you're doing now.
Right. Yeah. I will definitely look into it. I will say I did look into Walmart, and I have worked for Walmart in the past. I worked there for about 3.5 years when I was in school. So I'm sure they would take me back. I will say one more thing, and I'll let you guys go. I don't want to hold you up. Rachel, as far as so I know this is bad to say, but I haven't really started baby step 1. I've just been doing baby step 2.
Oh, I got you.
Because I don't have anything to sell. So my question is, how do I get that 1,000? Do I just take, percentages of my check each time and put it back to do that? Like,
yes.
How would I do that?
Yeah, I would do that. And when you're doing this part-time job, you're going to just put everything extra you're making to fulfill that $1,000 first and foremost. But hey, stay on the line, Thomas. Austin's going to pick up, and we're going to give you 12 months of Financial Peace University, because it's going to have Every Dollar Plus with it, which is our budgeting tool. And these two things together really, I think, are going to propel you forward. But I'm excited for you, Thomas. I mean, I feel like, man, you have such hope that you can change this around. You're asking the right questions, and this is possible. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but man, in 24 months, your life's going to look a whole lot different. Thanks for calling. Our scripture of the day comes from James 1:19-20. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, I love me some Mr. Rogers.
I know. In times of stress, the best thing we can do for each other is to listen with our ears and our hearts, and be assured that our questions are just as important as our answers. Brilliant. Hey, good question asking with people. when people are having a hard time or they're sharing something, when you just ask questions.
Yeah, it goes a long way. Just keep asking.
Yeah.
By the way, world-class coaches, I've learned from them. I've sat with some professional, like we're talking about, executive coaches. They ask what questions. Just keep asking what.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to just connect with somebody. You don't know what to say. Keep asking what questions. Well, what? It's pretty good. By the way, one other thing on Mr. Rogers before we move on. He could read from a phone book and you would go, that's amazing. That's brilliant. He could read an ad for a dry cleaner and you'd go, wow.
I kind of think you should start like changing into a cardigan and changing your shoes before the Ramsey show like he did.
Ken has like Mr. Roger like vibes.
Let me just tell you something. If Dave would allow it, we could put a closet right here behind me and I would come in right here. This would be great. It'd be on shows when Dave isn't here because he would like clothesline me if I tried to do it. But I would come in, open it up, do the whole little thing.
What's your shoes? Show your shoe. What's your shoe game? Mine's just some black flats.
Today I got the Air Force Ones high top, folks. I'm pretty drippy today. As the kids would say.
Oh, is that a kid thing?
I hope it is. Now I'm terrified. I think it is. Yeah, the fit. Here's how they say it. The fit is drippy.
You and George.
I have teenage boys.
You and George teach me these.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I would do it. Back to that. I would like to take off today's shacket. I would walk in, hang up the shacket, and put on a cardigan. And change my shoes. I think it would be fantastic.
Turn into Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
All right, Michael is up next, please.
Michael is up in New Mexico. Hey, Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey there, Superfly Ken and Rachel. It's an honor to speak with y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you. I am Superfly. Thank you. Yes.
How can we help?
I have a question in regards to vehicles and things with motors and wheels. I have quite a few things with motors and wheels to the tune of about $170,000, and I'm wondering if my situation could possibly be an exception to the rule of not having things with motors and wheels equal more than half of your annual income.
All right, so what's the situation?
That's quite a setup. What makes you the exception?
Several of these. Well, there's vehicles, and there's 3 trucks, 2 cars, a race car, an enclosed race trailer, 2 camper trailers, a boat,
Good
flatbed,
night, Michael.
And a horse trailer. And a few of those are appreciating in value.
Like what? Which ones?
Because they're old. And I have two of the 3 trucks are old trucks.
Like collectors, like a collection collector.
Yeah, and are these all paid for?
Ma'am. Yes.
Oh, so you own all these outright?
Yes, sir.
And so the value of all of these things together, your work, that's a different application because you've paid cash for these things. You don't have a car payment. You're not overextended either, is my guess. I'm guessing that. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes, sir.
What do you mean you believe so? Like, what's your financial net worth? Do you have any debt at all?
0 debt, and net worth of right around $2 million.
Oh, Michael, you're good.
I knew it, Michael. You're awesome, man.
Well, how much do you make a year?
My base pay is only about $120, but it ranges from maybe $180 to $350, depending on where in the world I'm working.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're fine because of your financial situation. But he brings up a very good point.
Well, yeah, and the reason that the rule is there is because anything with wheels, majority of the time, goes down in value, right? It's
Unless
not an
it's a
asset
classic
that's
vehicle.
appreciating, yes,
Right.
except for very small exceptions, yes. And so, yeah, we don't want people out there that has $100,000 car and they're making $30,000 a year or something. And so that's kind of where that rule of thumb comes from. But your net worth,
gotcha.
And I think the rule of thumb too can apply to your net worth as well. Just making sure that you have that. Yeah.
And what Rachel's saying, Michael, is important. It's a general rule of thumb where Dave's trying to help people see, hey, you don't want to be outsized in the money you're spending that you put towards a cash car based on your income, because we're telling you to pay cash. So we want you to pay a higher proportion of your income than you should. In your situation, number one, you make really good income. Number two, you own all these things outright cash, and my goodness, your net worth is fantastic. So, man, you're great. I got to ask, what are the older trucks? Are they classics?
One of them's a 85 K10 pickup truck. It was one of our old ranch trucks that I restored.
Oh, that's awesome.
And another one is a a 77 F-250 that was given to me as my first vehicle, and that's all.
Rachel has no appreciation.
Ken loves cars.
I love classic cars. I point out I like classic cars. I don't like newfangled cars. I like the old ones. But
here, yes,
I'm a child of the 80s. That 85 F10.
What a beaut.
It's fantastic. It's such a great truck, I got to tell you. Yeah, man, you're good. You're in great shape.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it.
Enjoy.
I'd take that 85 truck off of him today. I promise you. That's a slick vehicle.
You are so funny. You're like Mr. Rogers' old man vibes. I'm getting all at this last segment.
Mr. Rogers would never drive an 85.
It's on.
He'd drive a Gremlin.
I don't even know what that is.
Look that
Isn't that
one
a
up.
movie?
This is why we need to be on the show together, these generational gaps. There are a lot of people your age that don't even know what a gremlin is. Well, what year were you born? Let's get people perspective. What year were you born?
88.
I was born in 74. That's a massive gap.
That's a massive gap, Ken. If you were born in the 40s, that would be a massive gap.
Just as far as like cultural changes, I think it's a pretty big gap. Maybe not massive.
A Gremlin was a movie. The Gremlins, right?
Oh, jeez. Can you help me out? Can somebody pull up a Gremlin and show all the young people Rachel's age and younger what a Gremlin is? It's the ugliest car ever made.
Then why would you put Mr. Rogers in that?
Because I just think that's what he drives.
No,
You'll see.
He would drive an Oldsmobile.
No,
like
wait till you see the Gremlin. I could see him rolling up to the old studio, the PBS studio, in a Gremlin.
Oh,
maybe a station wagon. All right, it's gone. They can't get it.
The wood paneled station wagon. That's a child of the 80s. That's
they got confused and they're pulling up Gremlins, the movie.
See, even the guys in the booth got confused and pulled up little creatures from the movie.
I know.
It's an actual car. Oh, no, it's a car. Oh, jeez. I got to do everything myself. Let me pull it up on the laptop.
All right, you guys, you may be hating this show, but if you love it, consider subscribing. Leave a review.
Why would
share
they
it with
hate
a friend.
what just happened? That's fantastic conversation.
Because you're talking about Gremlins and that's a car. It's a movie. Oh, look, there's Jay Leno. Okay, Jay Leno's cool.
Here it is, Jay's Garage.
And Jay's got a Gremlin. Oh, okay, I've seen those, Ken.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
That's a Gremlin.
Okay. What year did they stop making that?
I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Man.
We got it. Oh, you know what I am excited about? You know what I'm excited about? Holding in my hands right here.
What is it?
Very exciting details about our SMART conference. You know, COVID knocked it offline like it did a lot of events. And this is a full day event. All of the Ramsey personalities, including Rachel, myself, Dave, John Deloney, and George Camel. It's going to be unbelievable. We cover the full spectrum. Obviously, money, your mental and emotional health, your work, marriage. We're going to have special guest Craig Groeschel and his wife going to be speaking on marriage. It's a great day, and it's Saturday, October 22nd, Dallas, Texas. So we're back. Dallas, Texas, Saturday, October 22nd, the SMART Conference. We've got incredible deals for you. You can reserve your seats today at RamseySolutions.com/events. That's RamseySolutions.com/events. And there's a special vibe and energy when you get 6,000 plus people in one room dedicated to just learning and growing. And I'd love to see you there. Join us, RamseySolutions.com/events.
Yeah, make sure to check that out, you guys. Ken, great show today.
Thank you. Fun
Enjoyed
times.
hosting with you, and thanks to James, Ben, Zach, Andrew, Austin, everyone in the back. And thank you, America, for listening. We'll be back. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.